So the first question is from Arjun Pandir. What are your opinions and your thoughts on the current state of Tier 2 in Pacific?
I know, honestly, I know there's been a lot of changes in the system and stuff like that, which might have had negative effects.
I think one of the big things that annoys me is the import rules, because it's completely different from tier 2 to tier 1, where it's like, we have Crystal now because XLG ascended and they can't take more than one import. So it's like, I don't understand import rule, why there isn't some form of grandfathering system or consistent rules in terms of like, hey, let's make this where these people can all play together. But like in terms of overall tier 2 health and like everything like that, I have no idea. I can only speak to Americas because that's where I've competed in, and my team is currently competing in tier 2 and in A. So like I could give you thoughts on that, but like I can't really say that I know what has been happening in tier 2 in Asia.
Faribod on Twitter. He asks, is MC also the head coach for Maribel? And if so, how does he manage the workload between coaching a collegiate team in addition to a VCT team? And how has moving to Korea been for him?
Yeah, I still am the head coach at Maryville. We had a very unique opportunity that we took over the M80/Chet's Vets roster, so we're in Challengers, which was not something that was planned. Over the summer is kind of like our downtime in terms of things. Like we were playing Premier. Premier is very late at night, so like I could help with that. But now with Challengers, like if it's the early match in the day, it's like 5 a.m. In Seoul. So like I can't really help with that, where we try to do practice a little later in the day, which basically my morning here, I can do practice with those guys. But for the most part, I'm kind of relying on them and then watching their recordings back to try to help. And then I have a assistant or 6-man substitute in Eccles that's been handling a lot of helping the guys out while I'm kind of gone, because this was pretty unexpected to be in Challengers and everything that happened. So like the later matches will be, I think it's 8 a.m. my time, 7:30, 8 a.m. somewhere around there. So like I will be able to help them during those matches, but I'm pretty limited in what I can do because we have like such full days. I mean, our practice days are from 1 or 1:30 to 10 or 10:30 pretty much every day. So a lot of my day is filled up with stuff for this team, and that's my focus right now. Where like my secondary focus is obviously Maryville. It's unfortunate, but it was agreed upon like that over the summer I could look out and try other things, and so that's how I'm here. And then in terms of moving to Korea, one of the big thing is there is a giant hill perfectly situated right between our apartments and the office that we get to walk up both ways, which is like kind of annoying, especially with the weather the way it is. But Lord knows that I need the exercise, so it's good. But it's been an adjustment. It's very different. Like if I'm taking a taxi or something, I've learned very, very basic Korean terms to try to help myself out. But like one of the first dinners we went to, one of the waiters tried to talk to me or ask me something, and my dumb instantly responded in Spanish because I was like, I don't even know why. I was like half tired, half jet lagged. And he just said something to me. And I just looked at him and started speaking in Spanish. And I was like, oh my God, like, no. Because like Spanish, I'm conversational in, but like Korean, I knew thank you and yes. And that was about it when I came here. So it's been a huge learning experience. And I've been, very lucky to be able to experience that in my life.
Why did Platoon choose to join GE?
I think personally watching APAC last year or last split, I honestly felt like there was like decent potential in the roster, and I personally have had like a bunch of different conversations with Donnie just like prior about stats and the analysis work I've done prior just for content. And so I've already had a pre-existing relationship with him. It just worked out that, Donnie himself is also like a big believer in that type of work. So yeah, he reached out and we figured it out, and we've already had, a good relationship prior to that. I think that just worked out really well. And already, having the idea that the GE roster, I think, is really promising, and maybe just needed a little bit a different perspectives, a different type of push to get them started, and that was really exciting to me as well.
Question from EPS Primus says, did Matthew join GE because he wanted to win that trophy more than the others?
I saw it as a challenge and a opportunity to potentially experience another culture and area and region. So like I was all for it. And timing wise, it worked out to be like absolutely perfect. I'd actually talked to GE multiple times dating back to probably 23 or 24, honestly. They've talked to me a couple different times to try to have me potentially be a part that it didn't work out in the past for whatever reasons. So it was a open avenue. I had a couple different teams hit me up, and I was like, this is a good opportunity, good offer for me to come out and try to help an organization that I feel like genuinely cares and is trying to do the right things. It was a new challenge, and I was looking forward to that. As terms of the trophy, I have no idea. Like, are you talking APAC trophy? Are you talking Champs trophy? Are you talking like stage 2? Like, I have no idea.
All of it, everything.
My view on things like that is to make sure we're a team that we can be in the right situation to win those games. And like, if we do our jobs and I do my job, like we can very well be a team that can do that. But like at the end of the day, it isn't up to me. As much as I want to win and do things, it's like, we have to prepare the players and then hope the players can, follow through and have good days. And, if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if not, then, it is what it is. But I do believe that, we will challenge, like for those things, and obviously like my goal is to make playoffs, and then from there that's where the fun starts and the magic happens. So
Here's a question from a guy called Charlie Karthik. What comp should absolutely not be played on Corrode?
on Corrode, oh man, the comp diversity we've seen so far on Corrode has been insane.
You asked that question, I'm just trying to think like who really wouldn't work. I think that's what makes the map really fun, is like there's a lot of different parts of it that make different agents work. Like, you're thinking, oh, Gecko might not work, but there's that hole on A, and then like a bunch of different things honestly could work throughout different parts of the map, and I think that's what makes it really fun to explore.
Comp wise, if you like don't play smokes at all, like that's probably bad. You could play 5 controllers on the map. You could do all sorts of stuff, and it's a really unique map right now because everybody's kind of just guessing and nobody has any idea what's going on. So it's a lot of fun.
And I don't remember the last time a map felt really like that, allowed for that much creativity. So yeah.
Last question. This is from a guy called Alan Henry. He says that I've seen the Fnatic guys sing a random song before the game to help with their nerves. Do we have something like that in GE?
I think the only thing that gets sung or said repeatedly around here is if I'm being honest. We don't have something like that. I think it'd be cool to implement. I don't think we could convince half the team to sing anything, if I'm being honest. Like, I can just imagine Udaton just glaring everyone down as he has to sing a song.
I feel like the pregame ritual is just the result of 5 guys being comfortable and more friendly with each other. Other than the Russian swears that like everyone has learned to say, they like to just banter a little bit while we're waiting for scrims and stuff like that. So I feel like that might come up in the actual pregame rituals as well. Like, one that's funny is like Poppy's one of the older players, but he comes in so clutch for us, and all the younger players like to just call him young talent, even though everyone knows he's the one of the oldest guys. So I think that type of banter is really fun amongst them. That not necessarily a song, but just like getting the guys comfortable with each other, I think could be seen as a pregame ritual.
Yeah.
Just
everyone calling Poppy young. Poppy, so young.
Yeah.
Last request. You mentioned the song. Can you sing it?
Oh, it's not a song. It's just it's a curse word. And I think back to every single team I've ever been on. Every player, how much I cussed. It doesn't even come close to Sava alone. Like, this man, like, we need a counter on every video or comms video or just in general. Entire teams put together, I feel like, didn't say as much as like what Sava says in like a scrim for like an entire day.
Yeah.
Sava's like the most unintentionally funny human being ever, where like he's just very animated and emotional when he plays the game, and so like you hear the pain in his voice sometimes when he's like saying and like it's so like funny getting to watch that on like a daily basis.